Welcome to episode 124 of Nobody Special.
This week we talk about me and Danny getting COVID and keeping your body healthy.
The Gossip Outpost presents Nobody Special. Hey everyone, welcome to Nobody Special, two nobodies talking about the somebody who matters. I'm Danny, the host and exercise enthusiast of Nobody Special.
And I'm Caleb, you're the host of Nobody Special. This is the podcast where two generations of people talk about God, pop culture, politics, and everything in between, all while not taking any of it too seriously.
Caleb, I'm moving in a couple of days.
So am I.
You're moving in a couple of days. We've both been working very hard, long days. Let's just have a low-key episode today, shall we?
I agree.
I'm gonna see if I can do this. We're just gonna have a low-key episode.
Why did you have to do it on my side?
This is harder than I thought it was going to be. We're just gonna have a low-key episode
on
here.
The table.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Caleb, I want to get real for a minute.
Okay.
This podcast, we've been going for almost 4 years. Almost at a 4-year. Kinda. I guess we're like 6 months away.
Really?
From 4 years. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Well,
wow,
we started in just after the 2016 election because we didn't want to talk about it. But
I feel like you're struggling more than you're
uncomfortable.
More than you're relaxing.
This bit ain't funny. Why have we not talked about the Eurovision Song Contest yet? I feel like we should have talked about it. It seems up our alley.
To be honest,
this
I've
microphone.
never heard about it.
Listen,
until the movie.
I'm in a state of relaxation at this point.
There you go.
Hold on. Oh, I'm going to tilt back in the chair. Actually, I'm terrified of tilting back in chairs. That's how I got the scar on the back of my head, is I tilted back in a chair and fell on the edge of a marble table. Okay, can I stop? Hey, funny jokes, everyone. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Keep going. Eurovision Song Contest. Please keep talking.
I would prefer you to get your feet out of my face.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I haven't ever heard about it
until... That's a fun audio wave file. Until
the old Eurovision Song Contest movie came out.
Ballad of Fire Saga?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that movie. It's quasi-quarantine times. Things are open, kind of not open. That movie. Did we talk about it already?
No.
Okay. That movie felt as if it was a tug of war between Will Ferrell and I can't think of her last name. McAdams out of Mean Girls.
No.
It was, she's from Mean Girls.
I know, I'm saying I don't know her last name.
Yeah, she's stellar, but it was a battle between them to pull it between goofy hijinks and just delightful. She is a delightful human being. Even in that movie, she's just delightful. Mm-hmm. And that movie had some clear and appropriate parts, but overall...
Did it? Gosh, I just blocked stuff out now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But overall, what a phenomenal movie that was. It was just
all right,
so
Danny.
Sweet. It was very tender.
No, yeah, it was. I enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
That music has no right to be that good.
Yeah.
It was stellar. Sure. I want to learn Icelandic. I'm going to say it. I want to learn Icelandic.
One of those guys.
Yes, I'm going to learn Icelandic.
What's the Icelandic version of a weeb? The anime-obsessed person? I don't know. I think I used the wrong term, but...
No, I know it's weeb. I'm trying to think of how I would say weeb in Icelandic. And it's just going to be offensive to a delightful group of people. Just delightful.
Are they delightful? I don't know anything about Iceland.
Small fishing villages. It's cold. Simple people. Simple's probably not the most endearing word, but beautifully complex at the same time.
Simple.
Gosh, yeah. Ignore that. Cut that one. Editor, cut that one out.
I think you're looking for like a simple lifestyle.
Yes, it's very...
It's not simple people.
It's just simple. He's a simple man. No. So the movie is about this couple and by couple I mean two people that are trying to enter the Eurovision Song Contest for reasons they never really explain it. It's a cool contest, and they're interested in entering it. And the girl has a massive crush, played by Rachel McAdams. She has a massive crush on Will Ferrell because Will Ferrell, he actually came up and created the story. So of course, Will Ferrell's gonna say, Rachel McAdams gonna have a crush on me, like, because he's like 20 years older than her, or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, and he got his dad to play Pierce Brosnan, because, like, sure, of course, most handsome man. Yeah, absolutely. James Bond, sure. But that's my dad. But they end up in the Eurovision Song Contest that has a history, and how can I put what the Eurovision Song Contest has evolved into over its nature? I have no
idea. I've literally never even heard of that.
Oh, yeah, I've watched a few. It's interesting because it's over the top a European pizzazz. I really don't know how else to word it.
Pizzazz.
Yeah. I mean, they a good amount of the things they included in the movie that are just over the top, or that comes off as just, crazy. They have a man kind of descending down in a hamster, kind of a wheel jogging. Yeah. He stole that out of an actual performance in the Eurovision Song Contest. But it's this big deal that people come and enter this and win. It's a big deal, and it just throughout this entire thing, the girl is trying to communicate her love to Will Ferrell, and he has to pull his head out of his own hiney and understand that there's more out there than just winning a song contest, but there's actual connection between friends and actual love. And it's just like, all this stuff has no right being this good. It's the catchiest kind of a soundtrack I've heard in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. The last song was good.
Ya Ding Dong.
Ya Ding Dong.
That was the last song.
Oh gosh.
Ya Ding Dong. There's a 10-hour version of Ya Ding Dong.
Ya
Ding Dong. Dunk, dunk.
My love for you is going
wide and strong.
Wide and long, I think. I don't know.
I thought it was strong. Whatever. But, like, doesn't matter.
The movie.
Caleb, it doesn't matter. This episode is a no stress episode.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. But the movie though.
Yeah, I gave it 2 stars out of 5. As far as actual cinema quality.
It's fine.
It is a very good movie. Enjoyable.
It's a low stress episode. It's okay that you gave it the wrong answer. It's fine.
It's like,
delightful.
Brings you back to your kid days where you don't care about the quality of movies, you just enjoy them.
That's kind of a more complicated way of saying it's simple, and I just want to point that out. That's the equivalent of the thing I said about the Icelandic people, who are gems of the world. Anyway.
Wow. Do you know any Icelandic people?
No, I don't know.
Pushing all of your chips in right now.
I called them simple. I want to be sure I'm not offending the Icelandic people when I have nothing against them.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out... Hold on. Keep talking. I'm going to figure out if anyone who listens to our podcast is from Iceland.
I hope not.
Yeah, not anymore. Not after this. All those Greenland punks are like, that's right, we're the better one. I'm like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, just the overall, like, super... Just over-the-top everything in the movie. Like, from the 2 whales, like, jumping up at that one part, you know? But yeah, it's pretty good and enjoyable. And I watched it with my sister, and it was her second time watching it. She wanted me to watch it that bad. But yeah, it was good.
I have been bumping that soundtrack unironically for about 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah. Ever since you watched it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, because I watched it at about the time that I got COVID. So maybe that affected my mood a little bit.
Yeah.
But, maybe we got that. I did test positive for COVID, everyone.
And so did I.
Yes.
Thanks to this guy.
Probably. Like, I was going to joke.
I'm not sure, though.
I'm pretty sure.
Due to something, because I was around a lot of people the night before I got fully sick. In an extent, and I didn't get any of them sick. Mm-hmm. But the moment I was sick, then people started getting sick.
Yeah. So you, I don't want to admit to anything here. When you came over, I had a really bad headache. And was sleepy, and it didn't occur to me that might have been the COVID, because the previous night, your boy accidentally stayed up till 4 a.m. accidentally.
Yeah.
So things happen. But you definitely were over during a time I was apparently symptomatic. So I'm okay taking a little bit of
slack,
the blame.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy because it's so hard to remember, because even the people that I got sick, I mean, it was kind of hard because I was around people at work, and I was literally up for 48 hours, which is when I started feeling sick. But I was in Gainesville and I couldn't go home.
Right.
And I was like,
hard to leave.
I guess I'm just gonna have to stay around people.
Right.
I didn't really suspect that I had it though. I thought, when you're up for that long, especially me, I'm so sleep driven.
Yeah.
That's where I get all my energy is from sleeping. So if I don't get that, my immune system turns to trash. And yeah, I got home at 6 a.m. And went to sleep until 4.
Right.
And then I woke up and I felt so sick, and I was like, this is terrible. And I just thought I was sick.
Right.
From staying up.
Oh yeah, that was kind of the same thing I did on mine. Is I was trying to, actually our church had gone back to streaming services, and I was trying to export the file actually as I was watching a Eurovision Song Contest, and it stalled out between 3 p.m. because I had the whole service in Premiere. I was trying to export it. It stalled out every time I tried to start it between 3 p.m. On Saturday afternoon and 3 a.m. So for 12 hours, every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm getting up to see, did the file export? And I got it exported at, it got done at 4 a.m. I dragged it into a YouTube. I had taken out so many things to fix the file, but I had functionally stayed up about 24 hours, to be honest, because I wasn't sleeping good anyway. So by Sunday, I had a massive headache, and I thought that it was connected to just not sleeping. And then on Monday, the day you came over, I think, or did you come over Sunday? Sunday, yeah. So I thought I was just a whole level of I'm tired and I can't handle anything, and it turns out I had the COVID.
Yeah, I think you texted me Wednesday that you're like, hey, I just got tested because I think I
Friday,
might have.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I got tested on a Friday, but I made the decision I was going to get tested on a Wednesday.
Okay, yeah. Because you texted
me,
I put it
and I was
off
at
work.
2 days.
And I was at work, and I told my bosses, and I was like, hey, I've been around someone that probably has COVID, just so you know.
Yeah, what did they do? Never mind. Never mind that question. Who really knows? There's no way of knowing. There's no way we'll ever know.
But now 3/4 of us at work have COVID. But I'm all recovered.
Now that I think about it, it might have been those other people. I want
to... But yeah, I didn't really know until... So I woke up Friday, and I was
Right.
sick, and I felt better as far as like running a fever. It was literally only Friday night and like part of Saturday morning I was feeling bad. But Saturday night I felt like fine besides some body aches.
Right.
And like a slight headache.
Fine except body aches.
But like my nose, I noticed my nose had been like burning. And I was like, what is that? And I went through the Chick-fil-A like pickup thing. And got some chicken noodle soup, and like got home and I tasted it, and I was like, wow, this tastes like nothing. They really made some
like
terrible
air.
soup.
Yeah, it tastes like flour.
And then I like took a sip of my ginger ale because it helps like soothe my stomach when I'm sick, and that literally like just tasted sweet.
Right.
I was like, uh-oh, I've lost my taste and smell.
Whoops.
So then I got tested that Sunday, and yeah, I came back positive.
Yeah. Now, you did the test that you do it to yourself, right?
Yeah, so it's like one of the federal pop-ups, and it's like the drive-through one.
Federal
so they
pop-ups. Are those the notices I'm getting about the census on my computer? It's okay, I got it.
What?
They're popping up notices.
Oh, I get it.
I high-fived myself.
Joke,
You should have just
Danny.
moved on. Hey, Caleb. It's the low-key episode today. It's low stress. I've been stressed out all week. This is the low-stressed episode. I'm going to have some more coffee.
But yeah,
Maybe it's
doing that
decaf.
test, yeah, that was terrible. It sucked because, like, you have to do it yourself, like you said,
It's not going to happen.
and like the nurse is like watching you through your window, and you're like sticking it up. She's like, further. I'm like, no.
Shut up,
Please don't.
perv. Yeah.
She's like, further. I'm like, no.
She's like knocking on your window, like knock, knock, knock. A little further up. You're like, come on! Like I'm rolling the window down. Like, am I being detained?
And then you have to do it on both sides. But the worst part is you have to twist it,
Right.
and that is terrible.
No, I felt so bad because our church staff all got tested just out of a precaution, and in our group chat, a person made a statement of got to go there and do it yourself, and I made a joke about that because surely you wouldn't have to do your own medical test where you get all up in there, and then a person said like, no, you have to do it yourself, and I'm like. I was trying to be cool because I already had my test done, and everyone else, they were a bit apprehensive about it. But in the back of my head, I'm going like, no, not going to happen. Good luck with that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it takes some willpower.
I don't. I know there's two kinds of tests. There's kind of the sinus cavity test that they put it in the nose, and then they go up through the back of the skull. And out the back, and they pull it out that way.
Out the ear.
Yes, yeah. They pull it and they kind of floss it through a little bit. That one, I mean, they've been doing those in drive-through testing, and I was just like, there isn't. I could not do that because the amount of drugs you would have to give me, I would not be able to drive through. I was like, there's no way. I'd be like, I'm gonna need you to sedate me. Like, we can't. It's a drive-through. I'm like, do it. You know? Like,
yeah.
Like I would need you to put me out, but
they did give me like 5 masks, like nice fabric masks that were like lined with copper and silver. I don't know what that does, but it was cool. But yeah, I mean, like. Yeah, it's not the most fun thing ever.
No.
It's the same thing as a flu test if you've ever had that.
No, sure haven't.
But, like, yeah, we're all better now. I did get tested again, and this one they had a free blood antibody test. And
really?
that, I'm like, no, I can't do that. But they're both free, and my boss was like, "Did you do the blood one too?" And I was like,
And I grabbed him by the collar and pulled him in and said, "Not a chance."
But like,
so
yeah, I can't do that. I just
getting tested. I had the coolest experience. I mean, I had to go to Care Spot. So I tried to call. Let's see, because I told you I was getting tested on either Wednesday or Thursday, and I called Thursday a morning to try and schedule an appointment for Thursday. And they said, yeah, we're booked for the day. So you can either make an appointment through our webpage or walk in, but you'll need to get there early in the morning and stand in line to schedule a time just for that day. So I checked the website. Earliest appointment was a week out, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm masking up and going and standing in line to schedule a COVID test.
Yeah.
I got there at 7:30. I was not the first person there. They open at 8, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, they open at 8. And I was not the first person there. They scheduled me for 11:30, and so I came back. And the person doing the test, she was fantastic, but you could kind of tell that she was over it. She was over the whole process of just no, I've swabbed so many noses, I'm done. So I mean, so I was talking to her because I try and be nice to people just in places, just because everyone has hard days at the job, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just how she came in, I thought to myself, like, this woman needs to laugh. Because she's seen the same test and the same questions over and over, and so I kind of started easing into a joke. It's like, yeah, I'm doing this. She's like, all right, do you have a cough? I'm like, nothing beyond my normal cough. She's like, ooh, a normal cough? I'm like, hey, listen, I just got insurance like a few months ago, so just give me a break on that one. She's like, okay, all right. So, and then at some point in there, she goes, I don't know, after all this is over, I'm just going to become a gardener or something. And I straight up said, oh yeah, but you'll still have to deal with a lot of fungus. I'm so sorry, that's a gross joke. And she was like, all right. She cracked a smile. She was pretty dope. But and then it came test time, and she said, just stare at the picture there. I stare at it, and next thing I knew, she's up my nose, and I'm just like, duh! I think I was off the seat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're doing that. It's happening now. She's like, 3, 4, 5, and I'm like, wow, that was it. Oh my gosh! And she's already in the other nose, and I'm like, I forgot to breathe for a bit, and
your eyes are watering and everything. Yeah.
And she's like, and done. Not too bad. I'm like, oh, it's not bad at all. And then
I needed 2 spots.
I was about to ask to have a Kleenex because it felt as if I was about to sneeze or something. I don't know. And I was like, is there a... And she hands me a Kleenex, and I'm like, she's done this.
Yeah.
She's done it before. This is not her first round of this. And she was like, it's going to feel kind of like this for a little bit, and then it'll come down. The doctor will be in just a minute. It's nice to meet you. Have a good day. And then she was gone as fast as she was in. I'm like, like, goodbye, stranger. But no, it was I had a mild case. I slept for like 5 days.
Yep.
I tried to do work. I'd get up, I'd send a few emails, and then a body said, like, you're done now. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna go take a nap. And I took a nap, and then I got up, sent a few more emails, back to bed with you, idiot, and fell back asleep.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, like, if you've been super tired, you should probably go get tested, because like that, literally, I was waking up. I wouldn't set an alarm when I was when I had it, and I would wake up at like 1 p.m. naturally, which is like hard to do for me.
Yeah.
And
I'm still up at 7.
And then I'd go to bed, like take a nap at like 4, and it's just terrible because you literally only have like 5 hours to your day.
Right. And you're trying to maximize them because you still have a job, like, like, hey everyone, I'm fine. But no, I mean, I had a mild case. I do know people, they got it stronger. It's this whole thing I know we've talked about in the past of just trying to... There's a balance I think all of us need to strike between you need to take it seriously and also the world can't stop at the same time. Yeah. I mean, there's... And everybody is really uptight on either end of where they're at. And to them, I say, this is the low stress episode, everyone. Just take a chill.
Yeah.
turn on a Eurovision Song Contest, watch through it,
stress.
Turn on subtitles, and sing along. It'll bring you down. No, but I think because everyone's been home and stressed and trying to figure out everything, stress of money, jobs, everything else, and places they can go, places they can't go.
Right.
Is it okay? I think that's taking all of our problems and making them worse because everybody is a powder keg of emotion.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's difficult because, you want to be able to do things. I mean, we've been in this for such a long time.
Yeah.
That it's just like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, it's like, it's hard to just stay at home. And I mean, I feel like the best thing you can do is to A, talk to people. B, like, go outside. And walk around. And a lot of us aren't really in full quarantine. I mean, I know a lot of other states, most other states besides Florida are.
Not so much, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty open back up.
I mean, in New York, California thought you can't have church. You can have everything else. You can't have church. Yeah. So the class action lawsuit coming for Governor Newsom is going to be over real fast. Yeah. Even the ACLU is like, no, it's messed up. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to try and balance, being safe and also like trying not to get severely depressed from just like staying inside. Right. And I think that my kind of philosophy, like, wear a mask. Yeah. I mean, I know it's terrible. Yeah. But like when you go out, just wear a mask. And it protects people. You don't know. Like, I know we know this firsthand now. You don't know if you have it that like whole week. Yeah. You don't know until you know. So it's safer to just wear a mask, especially if you're around people that are vulnerable. Right. And I know that there's a lot of politicalness around this, but I don't care.
And then kind of the other end is if you're a pro-mask person. Actually, all right. So all the stuff goes all throughout Facebook and everything else. First of all, stop sharing them. I'm sorry. Stop sharing. Go back to sharing cats, dogs, and food on Facebook and Instagram again. It's time. Right. Yeah. It's time to go back to. I know I've said it before. I'm saying it again. Make Instagram food again. And that's where I'm at.
Make Instagram food again.
Like I'm all about that because there's people getting punched because they are wearing a mask. There's people that are getting punched because they are not wearing a mask. Hey, maybe, and go with me on this, if we can't carry any kind of decency towards another human being that maybe disagrees a bit, then we're not 100% understanding the gospel, because I don't think Jesus came down and said, anyone who is a sinner who disagrees with me, I'm going to punch you in the face. Yeah. Instead, he died on the cross for our sins so that we might be all of us could come back to him. But it's chill, all right? Like, everyone chill. It's going to be okay. Everybody is stressed, and there needs to be patience and grace given to everybody on both ends. And if I think everybody needs to have a mask on, and a person doesn't have a mask on, it's not permission to go get up in their face and start screaming at them because, hey,
ultimately you can do whatever you want. Like,
they don't have a mask on. You shouldn't be that close to them anyway. Yeah. Like, and if a person is wearing a mask and I'm not, I'm choosing to like, no, I don't think it's fine. Then don't go up to people wearing a mask and be like, government's trying to control your brain with the microchips and the vaccines. I mean, it's like, settle. It's going to be all right. Yeah. I don't know why I chose that accent, and for that I do apologize. Who have I offended today? The Icelandic people, unintentionally?
And rednecks.
And, whoa. that was my...
Hey, rednecks take that term with pride.
Yeah, they do. They really do. If the past few months have taught us anything, it's like, nope, yeah, we're rednecks. So,
but yeah, it's like, and be smart about wearing them. Like, I know people who are like Nazis, but like, you're supposed to take it off every 15 minutes. There's literally like my sister was saying there's 2 kids in China that suffocated themselves to death from wearing a mask during like PE because they had to wear one. Right. It's like, be smart about it. Right. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff surrounding it.
Yeah. But the research and everything is kind of coming out that people closer to our age are getting it because we just haven't had it yet and it was our turn. But that people that tend to be active and in good health tend to fare better. Mm-hmm. And that brings us to our other segment of the day is just staying healthy. Yep. In just the importance of that. Yeah. Now, if I'll kick this off a bit. I understand I am a bit on the larger end of the scale, and I'm doing stuff to fix that. Now, granted,
exactly.
I didn't eat during 2 weeks in July, but that's because I had the COVID. Yeah. And
yeah, I lost like 8 pounds.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So, I mean, the positive is I lost weight. Wouldn't do it again. 2 out of 10 would not recommend. Yeah. But it's important to I understand the place I'm at, and I'm honest about it, and because of that I'm doing things to be better about that. Granted, I could be doing better, and I am going to get into that also, but at the same time I am doing things to fix that because I understand that it's more than just a number on a scale. It's actually connected to the to our kind of kind of our physical and emotional and spiritual health.
We can go ahead and read our verse, 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. And like, that sums it up. Like, we have been given this body that we can't do ministry without. Like, if you're dead, you obviously, I mean, you're going to be in heaven, which is better. But also, God says we are stewards of what he's given us. Yeah. And our body is something that he has given us.
Our body is intended to be a temple in that it's the place God inhabited. I mean, go back to the Old Testament. The temple, it was intended to be the home of God. And they were very strict about things that could and could not go on in the temple. I mean down to the size of the curtains, the color, the things they're made out of, everything. It was very specific because it was a way to honor God. Well, after Christ died on the cross and the curtain tore top to bottom, the presence of God came out of the temple, and the Spirit in us makes us that temple, and we need to treat our body in the same kind of a manner of treating the temple, because it's the place that God dwells. And if I come at it on that perspective, then it changes the way I do things. And if I'm being unhealthy, then I'm essentially pooping on the floor of the temple, which is a huge no-no.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it is kind of funny too. I mean, I don't know. This just popped up in my head. Jesus went to the temple, and when he saw like the bad things that he was doing in there, he started like flipping tables, right? Was that in the temple?
Yes.
And like, for some reason, I don't know, I feel like that's, to me, I was like, I guess that's kind of, it's symbolic.
Say cutting the fat. No.
No.
Okay. All right.
Like, symbolic of conviction from the Holy Spirit, like going and
conviction from the Son at that point,
tables inside of us to like know that, oh man, I should probably stop doing that thing. But anyways, it's sidetracked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's super important, and nobody is, I mean, there's people that are really good at it as far as staying healthy. But like it's a grind.
It's kind of a spectrum, because there are a few people that they idol or they create an idol out of the temple instead of the God that indwells in the temple.
Right.
That everything needs to be this chiseled. I mean, it's
making fun of
it's
people
an idol.
for looking good.
No. It becomes an idol to some people, though.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
You can't deny that, even if they are very strong and fit and all that. It is an idol. On the other end is kind of those that abuse grace of, well, God's going to care about me no matter what I do, therefore I'm going to jack up the temple because it doesn't matter.
Right.
And I think to a certain extent everyone is on that spectrum in a place. The middle ground is probably the best, that I treat the temple, quote unquote, in the honor that it's due, but also understand that it is a means to glorify God.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think doing things for your body is good. I mean, and like I said before, it's almost like you need a car to get you from point A to point B. And gosh, I keep on just making up freaking analogies, and I can't stand it. I hate analogies. But
analogies are great.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, imagine. Here I go, just creating analogies. God is like the fuel in the car, never really ending fuel. You don't have to stop at any pumps, I guess. And you have to get from point A to point B. God's plan for your life, whatever that is, it looks different. But like, it's harder to do that when your car hasn't had an oil change in 6 months, and your brakes need fixing, and
what would the spiritual oil change be? I want to take this metaphor and really drive it through. You know what I mean? This
is why I hate metaphors. You're gonna make fun of me.
What's the spiritual oil change? No, I actually think it's a pretty good metaphor.
The spiritual oil change.
It's our low stress episode. I figured we would figure out what
stress. What does the spiritual oil change be? That's reading your Bible. No. You need to do it more than just.
No, because I don't change out my Bible. Do you know what I mean? It's like, all
That's
right,
true.
I've powered through the ESV. I need some new kind of. I need the CSB.
Yeah,
what
would
in here.
oil be? I don't think that there is anything that would be oil.
What
like,
keeps the engine moving?
Because even if you're lubricated. I mean, we could just
worship songs.
What if it's just
worship songs?
That's kind of good, because the new ones go in, and eventually they get old, and you gotta exchange them bad boys. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, no one listens to Matt Redman anymore. That's the old oil, Now we got Hillsong and Danny's just dying over here.
I can't.
So this actually turned into the best metaphor.
Anyway, but back to our bodies though.
Yes.
Car maintenance. What are we doing? This is
I don't know.
It's the low stress episode, everyone. We're just gonna keep going. Now, I mean, as far as personal downfalls go, I'll be open and honest about mine. It's portion size, and timing and stress. It's partially one of the reasons I'm moving is because I have a 40-minute drive to work, and that chews up time, a lot of time. Actually, the worst thing I ever did is I got 30 minutes on the drive in, and I realized my laptop was at home, and that's the angriest I've ever done a U-turn, because I spent an hour driving and accomplished nothing, and then I had to drive back to the office. So that's another 40 minutes. But part of that is that needing to get up early or at kind of strange hours, and I don't take the time to make food, and that's having an impact because I just go like, I'll just stop and get a thing. I'll get PDQ or any of that because it's there, and I'll go out and get a sub instead of making a sandwich at home. And to be honest, it's not as healthy. Anytime you go out to eat, it isn't as healthy as making a thing at home. And the portion control aspect of it, the goal of going out to eat from their perspective is to give a person a pleasing experience that makes them smile, and gluttony makes you smile. That's why people do it, because it's fun. It's not good for you, but it's fun. And what's better than a slice of pizza? 5 slices of pizza. It's fantastic. 7 slices, the whole pizza. I mean, and I've had to be intentional about not doing that, and I've kind of gotten off a bit just because of stress, everything else, and just moving, and I'm trying to not mass buy groceries so that I don't have to buy a cooler to transport them to the new place. I'm just trying to clean out the fridge, and that's making things a bit difficult. But
I think, and it's not to say there aren't healthy, like one of my favorite places is a healthy place to eat out. It's just it's expensive too.
Zaxby's?
No. Kairos.
Is that the
it's actually a Christian place too.
The name like Kairos, it would have to be.
Yeah, they play like worship music and stuff. But it's like
what kind of food is it?
They do like smoothies. And like really good sandwiches.
Kind of the Christian tropical smoothie.
Ish, yeah. I guess you could call it. I think they have more than tropical smoothie as far as food, but yeah, they're really good. But yeah, it's similar to tropical smoothie. But yeah, I mean, it's more expensive to eat healthy too.
Yeah,
it's always like there's all these things, but yeah, my struggles are ice cream. Like, my ideal night is sitting down watching a movie with a pint of ice cream. And anytime I can do that, I do it, and it's bad. But, that's probably one, and, I feel like I'll get busy in my mind. Where I feel like I can't work out.
Right.
Really the only thing I've been able to do consistently is, like, rock climbing. Do that like twice a week, which is really good. But as far as going to the gym, I'll have like a month where I'll do it really good, and then you like fall off because there's some big project at work or something,
or the gym shuts down for 2 months. And still charges you $10 a month. Planet Fitness.
They didn't charge me $10 a month.
I don't look at my bank statements. They might not have. I know. I really need to. No stress. That's a big thing. Also, I mean, from a body perspective, stress makes your body do things that are terrible for it. If a person is stressed, the best things that they can do are sleep well, eat well, exercise, and eat good foods. But instead, the body in stress goes, I need to pack on calories in order to handle whatever is stressing me out. You start to crave gross foods because the body's trying to get calories, and it understands that fried chicken has calories in it. It has a lot of calories in it, and it's gonna go for the fried chicken. And then you're staying up like stressed. Oh, get out! You're kind of staying up stressed about the thing, so not sleeping, and then because of trying to save energy, the urge to go exercise goes away. It just stops.
And
to handle stress is part of a it's a part of our worship of God is to treat our body in a manner that is pleasing to God and honoring to the temple.
Like stress, really, I mean, it's not even the temple that it destroys, but it destroys a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because stress ultimately, I don't know why I said ultimately, that weird, but stress is ultimately us taking our eyes off God and putting it in our current circumstances. And I think there can be healthy stress, and I think it can be unhealthy in the sense that, like, if it's something you should be preparing for, don't just, like, live your life, and then when you get to work, you're, like, not prepared. You know, that's not good, but it, for me personally, anytime I get stressed, like, it's not only working out that goes away, but it's my Bible time. It's being nice oftentimes. It's just like a ton of things. You know, temptations in all sorts of areas besides just eating, you know, like,
because the defenses are down and the enemy understands, like, all right, defenses are down, now hit them. You know,
I mean, and it truly shows that, like, you know, we need to trust in God more and keep our eyes on him. And I think that that's what I'm learning more and more, like, especially coming out of high school and going into a full-time job, not knowing, like, really, that's what we were joking about earlier. I was like, Danny at his weakest is me at my strongest, because I'm still exercising those muscles of working and having all these things going on, and, like, where my mind is at, and being able to focus on what I need to focus on instead of, like, it's kind of like a capacity, I guess. Like, and I feel like it's widened over time more and more.
See, like, I stretched under duress is what happened. During that time I've talked about in the past. I mean, it's a blend of, you can take more than you probably think that you can. I think people can handle more things than they need to. I mean, you know, staying up 24 hours straight is not good to any person. But there are times Jack Bauer needs to stay up 24 hours in order to stop the terrorist. You know what I mean? I mean, there are times to push through in a temporary capacity because a thing needs to be done. But that isn't really great in a I do this every day. That's not good. And part of I mean, it's kind of a stress test, but part of that is understanding that your capacity is deeper than you probably think it is, but also needing to take time to still have rest. I mean, to me, the way I treat my body is connected to my idea of rest. Because I tend to go and keep going, and I, especially over the past month, I need to be, well, except for the week I slept, I need to be intentional about taking time to stop and rest. To take that time to say, like, okay, I'm not going to do anything here because I've been going hard, and if I don't come down, then I'm going to injure myself. I'm going to make bad choices. I'm going to go to Wendy's more times than I should and order more food than I think I should. And it's going to have an effect on everything. In a physical sense, it's not good. In an emotional sense, it's not good. In a spiritual sense, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing you can do is just try and trust God as much as you can. And like I said, I think it's only something that can grow over time. Like, people my age are not going to be as far along as where you are in your capacity to be able to juggle things and keep your eyes on God at the same time. It's just,
I don't even think I'm that great at it.
I don't feel like anyone is perfect. You know, we all have that point where you break down. But, like, I know people that do fine and just work a ton, way more than I do, and I can't imagine doing that. But, like, the best thing you can do is just read the Bible, stay connected to community. Like you said, have those times where you rest and aren't doing anything. But like, yeah, it's just going to be difficult. And I feel like one thing that we've been talking about is like, not only is being unhealthy can be more than just being unhealthy. You know, there's a point where you carry it more than, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, slacking off. You know, I've watched too many movies and had too much ice cream. And haven't gone to the gym, you know, this week.
Yeah,
there's times where
there's a line between rest and sloth.
Exactly.
You know,
there's
like,
a line where it becomes like sinful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that, you know, oftentimes this can go both directions. You know, there's people, we're seeing this movement going on in the secular world that is, you know, body positivity, which, you know, it depends on the way you look at it, but I don't think that is good. I think that you need to be nice to people.
Well, hold on. Kind of define body positivity a bit.
Body positivity,
yeah,
I would define as the worship of your body as it is, instead of doing something about it. And that can be overweight or it can be severely skinny. You know, it swings both directions. And I think it's not healthy. I don't think it's biblical. I don't think that it is productive in any way, shape, or form, because ultimately, you know, I think, what was it? It's the artist, like Lizzo is what pops up in my mind. She is a big body positivity person.
Sure.
And it's like, to a certain point, it's like, I do not want to make you feel bad. Like, that is not the goal.
Or condemn a person. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, condemn.
Yeah, don't condemn a person.
And that's what I hate about that mindset of like, okay, well, this is where I am with my body. You know, just got to embrace it instead of feeling bad about it.
Right.
But the reason you feel bad about it, like, I don't think you should feel bad all the time about where you are with your healthiness, but you need to be conscious that it isn't healthy and that she will die a lot earlier if she does not you know, work out and stay healthy. You know, and that's just that's what I mean by body positivity. I don't think that it is the best, and there's people, like I said, in the other direction that, you know, eat too little to try and make themselves feel better, as far as because like I feel like oftentimes people, it's like, as long as I'm not overweight, and then they swing all the way in the other direction where it's like, you're still not being healthy, you know, not eating, and sometimes it's a disorder sometimes.
And we understand that, you know, there's 100 different factors in this as well, but it's this idea that if I am treating my body in a manner that is, to be honest, very sinful, then that is still a crime against God. And I think the culture tries to tie this idea of our appearance to our identity. I mean, even a lot of the other stuff out there, as far as things that are against God, they try and tie them to identity in order to make them untouchable. Because if this is a person, well, no, I'm just fat, that's just who I am, then if that is an identity I hold, then if I went to the gym and trimmed down, I'd stop being me. And And that's just not true at all. Our identity is in Christ and in nothing else. And my identity is I am a child of God. Now, with that said, these are ways I can better glorify God and trust in Him. And to a few people that's dieting, to a few people it's it's increasing the amount of calories they eat. To a few people, it's getting emotionally on track. To a few people, it's getting spiritually on track. But the identity part doesn't change to a person that's in Christ. And to just go, well, I'm 100 pounds overweight, that's just the person I am. That is the same thing as going to Romans chapter 6 verse 1, and it tells us that we to continue in sin so that grace may abound. By means no. How can we who died to sin still stay in it? And that's the Greek in that is actually the strongest kind of an emphatic term of a no. It's the equivalent of going like, no. It's that.
That was intense.
It
scared me.
It's their two strongest terms of a no done back to back, and in Greek that increases it. It doesn't kind of, anyway. It's not a double negative or a double kind of negative there. Actually intensifies it.
A double no means yes, right?
No, no, absolutely not. But it's that type of idea that if a person is overweight, then that is it is sinful in that way. And I understand there's a lot of factors in there, and I'm being overly simplistic.
Right, I mean, there's so many things that can play into it. Whether you have depression, whether you're stressed all the time, and whether you just like to eat. It is a hard thing to overcome. Nobody's not saying that it isn't. It's probably going to be, from what I've heard, it's going to be one of the hardest things ever. So, but understanding that you are not that, and I think that that's important, that don't condemn yourself just because you feel trapped. Ask for help. And I know, there's tons of people who are more active that love helping people get active. It is something that brings a lot of people joy to bring them into that, into getting healthier. And I think that it hasn't been a huge thing in the Christian world, but I feel like it has been.
Are you talking about fat shaming?
No, not fat shaming.
Okay, just kidding.
Body positivity.
Body positivity. No, it's growing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's growing. And I don't think it should be, just because I think it's unbiblical and it's not good. It's
growing out of that abuse of grace. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as going, it's okay to murder because I know God's gonna forgive me in the end if I ask, and I'll just sneak my way into heaven that way. I mean, that's kind of the same kind of a mentality. Is that, well, I know I'll be forgiven, so I'm just gonna do it. Well, at that point, I'm not actually bowing to God as king over everything. I still have me on the throne, and I'm pretending as if God's there.
Right.
It's the same thing. And if I'm going to bow before God as king, then that means I take the crown off of my head and put it at his feet where it belongs.
Right.
Even if that's hard and difficult, and if I'm going to struggle through that, well, that's okay, because our flesh craves things that kills us.
Right. And I think, it is kind of crazy because, as bystanders and watching these things, like we said, everyone has their level of unhealthiness. It's just true. Yeah. But
in the same
thing that's
manner,
crazy
everyone has
about
their own sin. Yeah.
The secular world is, in a lot of the things, and trying to dodge offending people, we are killing them slowly.
Yes.
And that's why I'm not okay with it. And because more so than just being healthy,
right,
and using your body to glorify God, it's it's the fact that eventually it will kill you, and it's important.
Sure.
Because, like we said, and to clarify, like, just because you're overweight does not mean that God loves you any less.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you have any less value. It doesn't mean that,
it's not tied to identity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's simply out of, like, love that God wants that for us, and that other people want that for you as well.
Yeah.
Because he knows, I mean, everyone knows, like, when you eat healthier and when you're active, it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have tons more energy, like, everything, I'm
pretty good about jogging and going to the gym.
Yeah.
In fact, so I did that by I call them gym shows. They are shows I watch at the gym.
This is true.
I'm that jerk that brings his iPad in to the gym to watch TV there because the 12 TVs they have are all trash. But I have specific shows in there. I'll either do 2 30-minute episodes or an hour kind of a program, and I'll just stay on the whole time, increase speed, change speed, but that's been, after I do that, it's you do feel better.
Right.
I've gone because I needed to de-stress, and at the end of it, the muscles are tense, but everything else, it was fine. And if I don't get that, I kind of found I get squirrely, and agitable, and I need to be positive. I'm scheduling that time to do that because it's important and it's a discipline.
Guys, you should see Danny's legs. He has, like, freaking hands for calves.
That's where most of the weight is, right there.
Just freaking running machine.
I'm not fast, but I'm consistent. So, but on the other end of things, and I do want to speak up a bit because I have watched well-intended Christians actually do this. The idea of trying to swing the pendulum to the other end and go, all right, instead of body positivity, we got to do fat shaming. Nope. What that does is still ties their weight to their identity. That is the function of going to shame, is it ties it to their identity. And if I do that, I tell a person that they as an individual are inadequate and unworthy of love.
Yeah.
And that is unscriptural. It doesn't demonstrate a grasp of any kind of gospel. It bypasses everything Christ came to do.
Right.
In order to bring a person down that they feel they need to prove their worth to God and to themselves.
Exactly.
And that's not
it swings
okay.
The pendulum, and it may work. That person may work out like crazy and get super buff, but like we were saying earlier, it's not going to be to glorify God.
They'll be dead inside still.
Exactly. It's not to glorify God.
Yeah.
It's because you, like you said, you tied it to their identity.
Yeah.
And they're no longer chasing after being healthy,
right,
as a biblical thing, that I need to use my body as a temple for God, and it being, healthier is a better way for it to do that. It's swinging it to idolizing themselves and making sure that, it's all about, I have to look good so people will love me. Yeah, and that's just not.
I wouldn't even call it idolizing. I've been there. I mean, I grew up on. I had some individuals through high school that oftentimes took the opportunity to tell me how big I was, and that I didn't not make an idol of me. What I did is thought that I had no worth at all. And that's kind of the opposite of idolatry of
trying to work towards something that's empty.
But it didn't matter, because I actually, going back to pictures in high school, your boy look good. And I'm like, okay, who's that sexy man right there? What up? And I'm like, oh, it's me. Hello. I mean, but at the time, I thought I was inadequate and a piece of garbage because I had coaches. I had coaches that often pointed out that I was the biggest person on the team, and I now understand that because I have massive calves and everyone else on that team tended to be really skinny. Like they had they had a lightweight kind of a varsity boat, and I'm like, who got that?
Yeah,
the heavyweights are faster. That's why we go to the Olympics. But I didn't understand that until about 3 years after high school.
Yeah,
and that was the hard part.
Right.
So there was a lot of shame in that still it took a good amount of time to get over.
Right. And it's important to note too, like, I feel like progress is progress. Like even though you feel like you're in the depths of it, you know, getting that encouragement from even one person is important, because like even just considering working out, I feel like is a step for a lot of people. And it's a big thing. Not even working out, but like, you know, maybe I shouldn't drive through Chick-fil-A as holy as their chicken is.
Take that back. Take that back, sir.
But like, yeah, it really it depends, and I feel like we need to address more like what do you do? Like, I feel like we've both met, like you said, you've had stuff in high school of people doing that, and I feel like I was the opposite. Like I was really skinny. I still am. And like even those comments of thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
But like I don't know what year it was in high school, but I was thin and like, and
it was all of them.
Yeah.
It was never not one of them.
But like getting in that mindset of like, okay, I mean, I guess just, you know, being skinny is being skinny.
Right.
But like having even one person be like encouraging you is good. You know,
I've got a cool story for that. I mean, as I started jogging, you know, like getting back into it about 5 years ago, been on and off since then, but you know, as I was starting off, I'd go a minute on, a minute off for 20 minutes, and boy howdy, that the first 3 I was huffing after that, and so it turned into a walking, because if I'm trying to trim down, that's actually a pretty good thing. And there'd be this person I pass, because I'd go out in the area and just jog, and there'd be this person I'd pass, and they're a runner. They had the build, they had the shoes, the glasses, the matching outfit, the whole thing. And I'd be like, okay, I want that. And I mean the matching outfit, which turns out you can buy those even in larger sizes. So if that's the thing it takes to start, you gotta go for it. But there was a day, because I got better over time, and it's difficult to gauge that progress. And then I passed by this girl, and I had been jogging. It was that same girl every time, and just I have no idea who this person is, and just this girl starts going like, yes, go. And that was the most encouraging thing, that I was just like, I'm tearing up a little bit, you know, like I'm trying to not do that in front of her, because stupid, but it's like, but I was already out of oxygen anyway and emotional, so I went for it as soon as because she was passing, and as soon as she passed, I just I broke down a bit, because I didn't have that encouragement until that point, and that made a world of difference to just watch a person, to understand that this person watched me get better until they watched me sprint the first time, and they were so excited, and that type of encouragement, man, that's the thing people need. I mean, there was another guy. The guy was a big guy. Growing up, we'd kind of drive by this guy, and started off just walking didn't go far, then he's going farther. And the first day that we he kind of started jogging, and the community, oh my gosh, they were so excited that this man, because all of us had watched him struggle, go down pants, all that and everything, and all of us are trying to figure out, is it embarrassing to honk and go like, yeah, because he was jogging, and it was slow as all get out, but he was jogging, and and all of us are kind of debating, like, do we honk, do we encourage? I don't know what to do. This is the best moment ever. But that it's that kind of thing that people, they need that encouragement to do good things and grow closer to Christ, even.
Right.
Instead of trying to shame them, build them up and say, like, hey, we're going through this together.
Yeah.
And to get pumped about the times they do great. You know, cheer them on in the process. So yeah.
It's definitely, it's a sensitive subject.
Yeah.
Just because there are so many emotions tied to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that the best thing you can do is encourage, and even if it's like, you know, like jogging with that person. Like I have a friend like you.
Ask though. Just gonna, as the resident big guy, ask. Hey, I'll come with you. No, I know I'm slowing you down. Go away.
Like Danny you'll encourage me to jog, and I have like 2 other people that do and have jogged with me, and it's definitely like,
we still gotta do that 5K.
Yeah, I do need to do the 5K. And like, yeah, just encourage, and it doesn't have to be jogging, obviously, but like anything, even if it's like, hey, you want to like go walk and like talk about our lives, you know, like anything, like.
Can we do that? I would
just
love
hanging
that.
out.
I would do that.
Let's go walk. Because walking is like, it's a good thing to do, and whether it's like challenging each other, I know we've done that. Like, okay, you know, no this or this or this, for this month, and doing stuff like that. Like, I know my dad has gone like gluten free. And challenge himself in that way, or like no milk or anything
Sounds
like
horrible.
that. Yeah,
I'll die. I'm gonna ease my way into those.
Like make it a challenge, and because oftentimes you have to trick your body into doing it.
No gluten, dairy, or red meats. I'm like, what else is there? There's no more food.
I guess you just don't eat anything.
Is chicken red meat? Does that like?
But yeah, I mean, progress is progress.
Yeah. And celebrate the progress, and don't give up.
And just make sure your intentions are, you know, proper. Like, you're not doing this for other people. You're doing this for God. And I feel like that's like, it's the hardest thing, but like, you know, I think that it's something that's important to do, and to glorify God and be like, okay, you gave me this body. I'm going to try my best to take care of it.
Yeah. You are adored by God, and carry the grace to clean up the temple as a means of glorifying God.
Right.
So, well, we are interested in all the things you guys do to stay healthy, to stay on track and all that, and there's a couple of places that it's possible to go and tell us. Probably the best is to go to our Facebook and our Instagram page at a Nobody Special Podcast, and either put a note on a picture, comment on any of that, or just put a comment on the page and all of us go through them, or even slide into our DMs on that and tell us how it's going and everything else. Those are actually really fun to get to us. I mean, I enjoy getting them. Also, Caleb, is there another place that they can go to give us a message?
You can go to thegospeloutpost.com/nobodyspecial, and there's a little form there that you can fill out, whether it's just saying hello, we love that, or if you want to ask us a question, you know, do that there. And also on YouTube, you can find us at the Gospel Outpost. If you search Nobody Special and comment on one of our videos, and we'll see it for sure. We love feedback, and yeah, We want to hear your questions or just hear you say hello. And I mean, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate everyone that tunes into the show and tells their friends about it. That's our primary means of getting the word out about the show. That and Instagram hashtags, and well, I don't think those work, but it's not going to stop us from trying.
Yeah.
But no, all of us appreciate everyone that tunes into the show. It's a blessing to Caleb and I. Time to. Hey,
we're morphing together.
It's okay. Time to de-stress. It's the de-stress episode. Yeah, Caleb and I appreciate it. It's a blessing to us, and both of us do hope and pray it's a blessing to you also, and an encouragement in faith. So
yeah.
Well, Caleb, I think that's going to do it for us today.
Yes.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are
Nobody Special.